Hi guys, back with Real Talk with Tracy. Kind of got a little bit more cloudy, so the color's a bit off. Hydration. How much water does everybody get in a day? I definitely find it's easier this time of year because it's hot out. So I put ice water in that and I sip on it all day long. I do find in the winter it's a lot harder. Because if I even make it into like a hot tea or something like that, I find it takes me longer to sip it. So then I feel like I'm like behind the 8 ball because 1 8-ounce glass took me an hour to drink versus the cold water. So anyhow, I don't know why I got talking about water. I mean, in terms of weight loss, like not so much weight loss. It really has nothing to do with weight loss. It has to do with hydrating your body. Our bodies need to be hydrated. Our nails need to be hydrated. Our skin needs to be hydrated. Our internal organs need to be hydrated. So it's definitely a good thing to do. I'm actually going to focus on that for a week. We'll have like a challenge or something. Good idea, right? Woo! Look at these creative juices rolling. Anyway, last day that I just kind of thought I would talk about my numbers. And like I said, if you guys have any questions throughout this week or whatever, I'll do a little Q&A answer video if there's anything that I've not covered that you would like to know. So we talked about me making the decision to have the actual surgery, the process in which the yearly process before and shortly thereafter I've talked a little bit about the food and stuff. I haven't gone into grave detail, but I mean, I could do that in another video if somebody wants to know kind of on an average what I can eat or what I like to eat or how things sit or whatever. I mean, if you guys want to know that information, I'll give it out. I'm pretty much an open book, right? So there's that. But the last thing that I wanted to talk about is the numbers on the scale. So I try not to focus on them because they could be that could be considered a trigger, right? So sometimes when people do the weight loss surgery, they will then start getting on the scales daily. And our numbers can change anywhere from 3 to 5 pounds in a day, and it really have nothing to do with what you eat, right? So that was important for me. So I'm like, you know what, I can't. If I start going down that rabbit hole, it's not safe. It's not a mental place that is going to bring me happiness and joy. So I tend not to do it very often. And so now I don't even really think about it, to be honest. I'm like, oh, I haven't done that in a while. I probably should get on the scales. But definitely at the beginning you are, because you were, kind of excited about the process, obviously. And when you start plateauing, it's not as, not every day you're going to be seeing numbers drop, but I certainly saw numbers drop quickly. At the very, very beginning, I don't know what you expect. You expect to get on the scale as soon as you have surgery, because you've literally, like when I did the 2.5 weeks of just liquid diet, I think I lost 15 pounds in just that week, right? So then you expect to have the surgery and you are still not eating anything and whatever, and you actually gain and you're like, what is going on? But again, it's your body recovering. So you're swelling, you're trying to get in as anything that you can in terms of hydration. Well, your body's hold on to it because it's like, it can't take as much. Like there's so many different, so like even that small, like 2 weeks after, the mind shift and the mind games that you play with yourself this is a mental process like nobody kind of realizes. I mean, anybody that's going through it would, but I think it's more of a mental than the average person would realize it would be. Like, I think some people think that you get it done, you lose all the weight, you feel great, but there's a lot of mental abilities that need to go into, building yourself up to have those strong abilities to get you through, right? Like, there's a lot of mind games that you can play with yourself. So I definitely don't weigh myself very often. I do fluctuate between, 5 pounds usually here and there. And so I will say, I don't think this is my highest weight, but the weight, because I kind of didn't record it before, the weight that I was, I never looked at the date. So I don't know if this is, I think this is the weight that I was after I lost the 15 pounds. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, I had my surgery in November 2019. And just prior to that, I want to say the 15th, I weighed myself and I was 288 pounds. So I was almost 300 pounds, not able to move, not enjoying life, depressed, sad, hating myself for getting to the level in which I did, hating my body because what I couldn't do was my body's fault. I was just in a very, very, very bad place. And it took me, geez, I would say a year even. I don't know that it would be much more than a year, but within a year, I lost a total of 135 pounds. So it's like losing a second body, a second person. And in that year, I have done so much. My confidence has grown. My believing in myself has like it's just climbed the ladder like so much. I was in a relationship that I just finally made the decision that it wasn't the right relationship moving forward. So I ended that. There's been a lot of independence that's came with that in terms of, like purchasing our home and, living as a single mom again is a big adjustment. So yeah, it's been a roller coaster of emotions. And I think if you're not in the right frame of mind, all those things could have been triggers to go back to what I was doing before. But I try to be, extremely careful and catch myself as soon as I go down some slippery slopes. The one slippery slope that I have yet to try, and I think you guys are going to be the ones that keep me accountable, because I'm thinking moving forward more in the fall when the weather's not as hot, maybe moving these Real Talks with Tracy to be ones that I do maybe when I go on a walk. So I'll tell you what my current what I feel like is going to be a trick. Woo! There's light behind is going to fall. Is told ya. Everything's fallen. I was so worried that I was going to spill water on my keyboard. That would have been nasty. So back in the day, I used to exercise and do all the things. I can't get the light to stay. You guys will have to suffer through. I would exercise and all those things, and I would gain weight. I would become more hungry because I was exercising. And so that is honestly the one thing that I have not jumped back in to do. I'm certainly a lot more energetic than I ever used to be. So in terms of even like doing more things around the house, 100% I'm that person. Going to other places, I'm that person. But when it comes to actual regimen of exercise, I've somewhat scared away. I was doing some walking. When I was working the lunch hours at the school, I would walk back and forth. But my fear, I guess, is that I'm going to exercise and my I'm going to be more hungry and I'm going to eat more and then I'm going to start putting on the weight. So I know that is a mental block that I need to break through, and I need to be cautious of it when I start doing it. But my body deserves to be get moving, right? So I didn't lose all this weight to just be skinny and unhealthy, right? So I definitely need to get more motivated to get moving. So just there's always going to be things, people, and it doesn't even have to be weight loss. It could be anything that there's stumbling blocks that are triggers for you for whatever reason. It could be anxiety, it could be depression, it could be, I don't know, a relationship you're in. It doesn't matter, but there's always going to be those mental mind games with yourself, and if you can catch them and recognize them and feel them and be like, okay, where is it coming from? How is it going to serve me? And if it's not going to serve me in the direction I want to go, how can I manage it to serve me in the way I want to go? So, I'm working through that progress, and it's going to be baby steps, right? Famous last words Tracy always uses. Baby steps. But yeah, so, I'm always going to struggle with different things as humans, we all do. But that's the one that I struggle with this weight loss journey is picking back up and getting back into the exercise routine. Just because my fear is I'll start putting on weight, and it's not even that I'm worried about putting on muscle, because Anyway, we all know that muscle weighs more than fat, yada, yada, yada. It's not that I'm concerned about. It's the concern of the slippery slope of, oh, well, I've done this, so, oh, that's okay, I can eat this, right? Because that's a whole mentality of thinking that's not healthy. Or, you know, I've put on 10 pounds. Oh, it's just muscle. Is it really? Is it like, when I start that regimen again, I'm really gonna have to be mindful on that I'm making the right healthy choices, and that I'm really sticking to the moderation of 80-20, 80%, you know, health and nutrition and getting your body, giving your body the fuel that it needs, and 20% of, you know, quote unquote treats. So I definitely, you know, need to keep that in check so that I don't go down a slippery slope, because I don't want to. I didn't come this far to turn around and go back. So, you know, not to say that I won't have those moments where that happens. I mean, I'm human just as everybody else, but, you know, I took a big gamble by doing this, and it's given me like a second lease on life, and I want to embrace it and never forget it. So, anyhow, that was another long ramble. Sorry, guys. Anyway, that's what it is. I lost I don't know, like, would that be a teenager size? Mid-teenager? Well, I guess an early adult, 135 pounds. Yeah, gone, and hopefully never to be put back on. Anyhow, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Let me know if any questions come up, or anything that you'd like to see or hear, or something you'd like me to chat about with on Talk with Tracy. Let me know. Bye, guys.